Hey, I'm Grant, and welcome to Digression Bar 18. I am joined by...
Andrew.
So, Andrew, what is up? Do you have anything you're amped about to tell on this podcast?
Amped?
I should grab my mic.
That would help.
Yes.
Because then I wouldn't be the only one, like...
To be fair, I don't know if you know this on podcasts. I always turn down my audio because I just blast.
I wouldn't know that because I don't
I'm
hear that.
so loud compared to you guys. Plus, I have actual mic control because I edit. See,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can tell this, but Jamie usually does this, but it'll happen to you too, is these are like directional, right? So it's meant to be like pointed at you, but sometimes they'll go like this way. And then that causes phasing because I'll be basically talking into your guys' mics. And that's a whole thing.
Didn't know they were actually directional.
So
there are times like when it's like this and I'm like talking like that. I'm like, oh, I think this is working fine like that. But I guess no. Okay, that
it's intentional.
Good to know.
It's intentional, so it like cuts out. Sorry, Mike. Cuts out all the side stuff, and it's nice because like that's one reason why you can tell like low quality mics is because they're like room mics. Like your speakerphone on your phone is a room mic. It just picks up everything.
Oh.
So that's why it sounds bad because it picks up everything. It's almost too sensitive. Versus these are like directed like straight at me. So it should only pick up my voice. And even though you're fairly close, yours is faint enough that I can just drown it out.
The more you know.
More you know.
Are you going to add a little sparkle and rainbow effect?
I want to get back to that. I feel like I've actually fallen off of doing like special effects on podcasts and videos. Like I used to add a lot of stuff like, oh, hey, here's our Twitter handles. And I would add my email and I'd add the outro. And then with the new way I edit it with multicam, it just wasn't really worth it anymore until we got like bigger. So I'd like to get back to that, or like to do like fun little things, but.
By the way, I was impressed. I don't have any Photoshop experience like at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I was impressed when you put that image out yesterday with Caius holding that instead of the chalice with the bag of Doritos. And like you did that in like 5 seconds.
That one was so easy.
Well,
Really?
I don't know. I don't have any. You just did it so fast. I was surprised.
I wish you could see my stream when I was doing it because it must be obvious. Because I'm like, normally my right side is my gaming monitor, and I was like, normally I look at that, and then I'm just giggling over here on my left hand monitor. Like, oh yeah, copy paste. It was the whole thing, and I just like throw it in the chat, and I just wait for people to look at it. But no, there's a guy in our Destiny 2 raid group who always eats chips when we raid, and that's his thing. And the boss of the raid is a big fat guy from space, more or less. So I was like, hey, leaked boss from the new Destiny 2 DLC, it's Crazy Overlord, the guy who eats chips, raid boss. And it was just the big fat boss holding a bag of chips. I do that all the time. Or like, you missed it. There was one day where we were doing Eater of Worlds, which is the new... not newest, but one of the newer first raid layers, and it's Vex themed. And we had a guy from LFG, and the entire time he was the only guy we could get, but he would play this Spanish music, and he refused to turn it off or turn it down. So I would just like on the slide in the Discord, I put a picture of the final boss, but with a sombrero and maracas. It's like this freaking raid right now, and everyone on our clan just started laughing. What happens? Like, no, you don't know. You don't know.
Maybe if you turned off your music, you would have heard it.
Personal memes are the best memes. You know, that's the best thing. It's like it's not good, but it's relevant.
But
love that.
There was like one time we had someone on LFG that we were raiding with. Mm-hmm. That was early before I'd actually ever completed, I think, the raid. Mm-hmm. But the one guy who like had Game of Thrones playing in the background really loud. It's like, why are you watching Game of Thrones while you're doing this, and why can't you turn it off? Mm-hmm. Like, or turn it down, anything. It's like, I think you said something like, oh, maybe there's someone else in the room watching. It's like, then why is the TV like touching the other TV so you can directly hear the sound? I don't know.
I feel like you would always get that in like Dota, where you would load up and someone would be in voice chat, and it's obvious they're playing like Dota in their like family's kitchen with their entire family, where there's entire conversations that aren't the player going on in the background, and you hear like pans clinking and all this stuff. And I don't know why they can just stand for whatever relative this is to just be screaming profanities in Dota. But I'm just curious what the setup is because it happens all the time.
I'm sure they're just glad they're not talking to them.
It's not their kitchen. I think they're at a internet cafe. That's what I always heard it was usually, and that's why it's so hectic.
Oh,
I don't know. Don't know. Online habits. Weird.
Then why don't they just type? instead of
I don't think
talk.
these people are considerate. Usually, if
Okay.
you run into a situation like that, like usually you'll run into a situation where if it's that kind of person, it's like usually like, okay, they paid for an hour to do whatever on the internet, and so they're going to make use of whatever time they can. So they say, yes, I speak all languages. My connection's perfect. Give me the first match. And they just go. And their point is they don't view it as like completing the game. They just want to play 1 hour of Dota. So it's just, they don't care. They're not trying to communicate with you. They're just playing their single player version.
So why do they talk to you though?
To yell at me.
But okay.
They talk to me to yell at me. They don't talk at me for me to understand. Like, they don't want to listen to me. They probably have me muted. They just scream because they're not very good.
Are they always like English speaking or?
Not always. It just depends on the person. But usually you'll run into that person with obviously like they are in that situation where like they just want to play for themselves and like they have an hour. So it's like, oh, hour's up, quit. We can be ahead, just quit. It happens. You run into like annoying people and do it all the time.
Don't they get dinged for that though?
Yeah, but I guess they don't care. I don't know.
Won't it be like, oh, you can't play for an hour being logged on? So that means they'd have to pay for an hour of useless time.
This is a great segue because it doesn't necessarily ban you. It just bans you from ranked for a set period of time, or it puts you in low prio, which is low priority, which basically means you got to play with all the other bad people. And if you ever go in low prio, man, is it bad? Because it's just everyone assuming like I am so much better than all of you. I just can't get out because you all suck so much. Because you got to win so many games to get out. Low prio it's another beast. Just to get all like the most like vitriol players in one group.
It's like putting crabs in. It's like the crabs in buckets thing.
Yes.
It's like that.
Yes.
It's like whenever anyone tries to climb out, everyone else just pulls them back in, trying to get out themselves. It's like, well,
Yeah. It's vicious, but also hilarious at the same time.
So you've done it for fun, just like
I've
going.
done it in low prio before because sometimes you get reported. You know, it happens. It's not a huge deal to get in low prio. It's only like if you get there consistently. Are you like a bad player? Or like sometimes it's just like this game is lost. I'm not going to spend 40 minutes. Losing
My
it.
luck would be, I would get stuck in limbo of low prio because I'm always stuck with the shitty teammates. Like I don't yell at them.
There's a
I don't
term
do
for
anything.
that. Not even like low prio. It's called elo hell. Do you know what elo is?
No.
Can't remember what it's for. If it's the name of the guy that made the system, or if it has an acronym system. But it's basically if you have to make a ranking in a game based off of statistical analysis, it's called elo, and it's based off how good you are compared to other players. So if you're in the top percentage of players, it puts you in a certain tier. And most games convert that to a ranking of like say 1 to 5,000 or something.
Okay.
And so the idea of elo hell is that since everyone in your tier is bad, your win rate is by default 50%, because any game where you are improving, there's always someone who's so much worse than you, they'll drag you down, that your skill doesn't matter. And that's always been a big debate, like, oh, is elo hell a thing? Because that's how people justify smurfing, which is where you make a new account and then stomp people so you can get out. Or you go pay someone to get you out who's really good so you can play at your real level. These are all things that come up in Dota all the time.
Okay. That's interesting.
I actually wanted to, if I could ever find it, like I would love to get you and like 9 other people who have never played Dota to play a game of Dota over LAN.
Oh no.
It'd be so much fun. Like just walking around. What is that thing? Who's Roshan? Why'd he kill me?
Like he's the NPC?
Yeah, he's an NPC.
I was gonna say, like, if he's another player, I mean, it's kind of
He's this giant like dragon-esque thing that
Scene jungle.
Nah. He's in his own pit. But if you kill him, you get a shield that gives you a free revive after 3 seconds. So it's a big deal.
Okay.
So, but he'll wreck you unless you're prepared.
Okay.
Unless you know what you're doing, then you sneak in with a smoke and do level 1 Roche and you're a cool team. It's like the ultimate gamble to do level 1 Roche. See, I can't even talk because you've never played Dota. There's so many things I can never talk about on my own podcast because I'm like the only one that isn't. I'm the only one that plays Dota. I can't talk about my awesome like video codec discoveries because it makes sense to no one that watches this. Because I'm just going to scream about like MP4s and impacts. So amazing.
But no, I swear, in multiplayer games, there are so many times where it's like I'll just go in by myself and I will perform at least better than my other teammates, but we'll still get stomped, and I'll get stomped like repetitively. Like statistically, it doesn't make sense for me to get stomped this many times in the short amount of time, but it happens, and then I'll get in the game, and then I'll completely eviscerate. Then I'm back to the slump again, where I'm just getting pounded over and over and over again.
Well, I think it depends on the games, because I know right now a big complaint about Destiny 2 is they added that Valor, or Glory is the one that matters, system. But it's still, your matchmaking like skill isn't based off of your Glory rank. There's a separate skill that tracks. So that's a big thing that people are complaining about, is like, you can be Glory 5 and go against a Glory 4,000 team. Or I know in Gears is terrible. Like, I'm not that good against... You don't know the Gears ranks, but it's like Bronze, Gold, Diamond, Onyx.
Yeah.
Right? Platinum or something after that, I think. Or the other way around.
No, I was saying Platinum definitely is not
Onyx.
before Onyx. Onyx is, like, it has to be the end.
And all the time, I'll go against, like, a team of Onyxes, and I'm, like, Gold. And, like, we have a dude who's, like, unranked. And it's clear, it's like, yeah, we lost. Like, was there any doubt? So, that was normal. I loved Halo had a really good ranking system. Kind of.
3?
Halo 3. Really good ranking system. And then Reach didn't have one for a while, I think. And then I don't think 4 did at all. Did it? Like actual, like ranked? Because like I love.
Yes, no, Halo 4 did. It had a thing that reset every.
Mm-hmm. I guess
like,
I didn't play it on
something.
Halo 4 multiplayer. Oh no, I kind of did. Halo 5. Yeah, that's one.
Or in Halo 5 to 2. No, Halo 5 had that.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked Halo 5 one, except it just, you have to. There was a lot of multiplayer stuff in there that either you really liked or really didn't like. I really liked most of the stuff in Halo 5's multiplayer.
I hate that I'm not like into multiplayer games anymore though. Like I just don't have the time or like the commitment to one game. Like I used to love playing Halo 3 online. And now it's like, what, the biggest multiplayer game I play is like Destiny? I can't name the maps. I can still name the Halo 3 maps, but in Destiny, even Destiny 1, I played so many games. I can't name the maps. I can name Bannerfall. That's one. Shores of Time.
Isn't that Destiny 1?
Yeah, Destiny 1. Those are Destiny 1 maps. I only know Shores of Time is because they brought it back to Destiny 2. So now I know the Destiny 1.
I'm actually annoyed that they brought back maps from the other games. Like at least in Halo, it's like with like when they brought back like the classic map essentially, which is Blood Gulch.
We didn't turn off the AC. Keep talking.
We didn't. You didn't.
God damn it!
And this,
You're supposed to keep talking.
I was just
Movie
slowly.
magic. You don't hear that
Movie
loud noise that should be going off any
magic.
point. My AC's got a mind of its own. It'll just turn off in 5 minutes when it decides to.
Cause fuck off. That's why.
I
You don't get cold air.
how it works.
It already feels colder in here.
I should turn off the fridge too, but it seems like it's fine.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Where were we?
We were talking about
Oh, maps. Like in Halo, like they have that one iconic map, which is Blood Gulch, and I feel like part of it is because of Halo or Red vs. Blue. I feel like that's half of its reason for being redone over and over
also
again.
just a really good map.
But it was also a really good map. The maps in Destiny, I feel like there's no reason to bring them back because, like, essentially, there's no.
I disagree.
With the exception of some of the ones with vehicles, I feel like most of the maps don't really have anything unique. It's just a different layout.
There's a couple. Shores of Time. I think that's going to bring back, and Bannerfall. The ones I can name, obviously. But for me, most of them, I don't care. They don't really hold the same group. And that's actually a complaint I have about a lot of multiplayer games. Is what I loved about Halo is it, especially Halo 3, it just felt like a natural space. So many games since Halo 3 just feels like arenas. Like, this is clearly, especially in Halo 4 and 5, just a sterile, heavily designed, symmetric arena. Because they want to be super MLG. Is that even a term anymore? I feel like, is MLG still a thing? They want to be super esports. But and I feel like that's amazing. I can't describe it on that, just like sterile. Where it was just like, it's not quite fun. It's just too overly balanced.
synthetic.
Yeah, synthetic would be a great way to put it. And I think the reason I think of that in Halo especially is because once they made like Forge good, all the maps just became Forge. So they all looked the same. It was just like different layouts. And that's what the majority of maps were in Halo 4 and Halo, even late Halo 3, I think. And it was like, it wasn't quite the same. So this bummed me out. And then even now in Destiny, like there's a lot of maps that are just kind of like the same. If I can think of them. I kind of like Destiny 2's maps. I'm just not as plussed in Crucible, but they're making it better. But then even it goes to like other games. Like Gears is a little weird of exception because Gears is hard.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at Gears, and there's a lot of people who are very good at Gears. But even like playing like COD and stuff, and it's not terrible. And
I feel like Gears is one of those games where it's like even a slight skill difference equates to a huge performance difference. It's like even if they're just a little bit better, you'll get stomped.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like it's just intimidating going in because like if they're even just a little bit better, you can still like you can win teams that are better, slightly better than you, just because you could just perform better that game, or like just things just stack up and fate fair enough for you. But there's certain things, but like in fucking Gears of War, it's just like nope, they'll just eviscerate you.
I think one of the things that's so hard about Gears is it's so focused on just the fundamentals to the point where it can be a mistake to pick up a power weapon. Like you can like, oh no, I have a torque bow. Like, yeah, bad choice. I have a shotgun. That can be a bad choice to pick that up sometimes. And
everyone starts with a shotgun.
Yeah. So, or the fact that, yeah, you can have a sniper. We're still going to kill you with a Lancer. Like, if you're not prepared, you have a whole team to back you up.
Yeah.
Or even just like getting a power weapon is so fundamentally hard. It's ridiculous. And I don't know. I have complaints about Gears, but it's really great when you have a whole team. Like, Gears 4 has a great new mode called Escalation. That is very good. Love that mode.
I bet it's unrelated to Escalation in Destiny 2.
Yes.
I don't understand that. Like I don't. There's so many things in there. Like okay, I can't tell if this is supposed to have a narrative or it's just strictly gameplay. Like Escalation narratively makes no sense to me.
It's supposed to be like Rasputin drawing out the hive so you can kill them all.
What is he doing?
I don't get how he summons them either.
And then like, oh, they get mad if you don't kill them fast enough. What do you mean? Like what? Why not? He's got all his war stats. Why doesn't he just fuck them?
Don't know.
He just brings them up and just hammers and dons them. I know it's Gears of War, but he basically can do that now.
Gears of War defined a lot of terms that are hard not to use. Horde, Hammer of Dawn is pretty fundamental, even though there's other things that use it.
Yeah.
So,
classing. I mean, I guess Halo did it before, but technically, but it wasn't like a gameplay thing. You couldn't call it down the fire.
Yeah. I definitely, the only game I really associate like gibbing with is Gears of War anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Superman, that's only in Gears though. I guess it was in Halo. Superman, you don't know this. Superman's like when you have a Nasher shotgun and they do a forward roll and you pop them in the head when they're forward rolling, so they do a Superman pose in the air.
Oh yeah, no, I do know that.
It can happen in a reach because you had the evade as well. But it's so iconic when you're like Superman. See, you don't know the term. I was like, oh, Superman, like, yeah, because everyone loves it. Yeah, Gears is like so visceral. I love it. We were playing a ton of Destiny multiplayer last night, which I was having a blast with. And I just remember like Evo, who I think Evo's like 30 right now, and he's like, I can't take it. Every game was like,
how old?
I think he's 30. I think he just had his 30th birthday.
I thought he was younger than us.
I don't think so. We should ask him. I don't know. He might have been joking, but he was like talking about how he's like, it was like an endeavor for him to be playing a stressful game.
Are you sure that wasn't the other guy?
Was it?
I think that was the other one.
Dinkin,
yeah.
Dinkin?
Because Evo is the one that plays with us on D&D.
Yeah, I want to say that was him. We can ask him tonight when we play D&D.
We can.
But I just love the idea. I'm like, yeah, get my blood pumping. He's like, I need a minute, guys. Or he's like, oh, survival, no. Like it was just too much for his heart.
I definitely was like, oh, guys, this is stressful. And then, like that one game, like, oh shit, we won 4 games in a row. If we win a 5th game, that's like the 5-game streak thing. Like, guys, we're gonna get. And then we came in the game. They all had the vigilance wing, and they were all like 3 of them were in the same time. I'm like, oh, guys, we might be fucked. And then we got fucked.
I would love to get good at like a game again, but I feel like no games have good progression, and I don't have friends in one game anymore. Like it used to be like everyone played Halo 3, and that was just easy. And it was awesome.
I didn't play Halo 3. I didn't play Halo 3. I only played Halo 3 with you because I didn't have an Xbox.
True. And I guess I could always go back and play Halo 3, but I'm not going to. It's not the same.
Is multiplayer still going in that?
I mean, Master Chief Collection.
I mean...
See, it's weird. It's like, yeah, I could go play Master Chief Collection. I don't really want to. Because even if you do, it still feels kind of like... I don't know, like you're... What's the term like... I want to use the term necrowing from like forums. But like, yeah, you can go play it, but it's never going to be the same. Like, there's a time we went back and we played Jenga on Halo 3, and it was still fun, but it was still this idea of, it's like, it's not just another night of us having, like, fun playing Jenga. It's, like, a thing. And, you know, like, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to play Jenga in Halo 3. I don't know, it's sad. Somber.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Or I think just, like, I like Destiny's Crucible because I like the fact that there's more behind it. Like, if I play Crucible, it helps me in single player. If I do stuff in single player, it helps in Crucible. Like, there's more of a reason versus, like, I'm just grinding ranks in Halo 4 to get, I guess, a small bonus with those different armor sets or, like, your class. You know, it's like, it's something, but I don't really need it. But then I also feel like I don't like Destiny. I don't know how I feel how I feel about Destiny's different guns. Because I definitely feel like there's some times where it's like, I just had a better gun than that guy. Or it's like, sorry, you brought a hand cannon, I brought a scout rifle, and you're over there.
Well, there's also times where I feel like some guy just definitely had a better gun than I did. Because they fucking, like, just eviscerated me in 2 shots. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think especially with Destiny 2, I hate how rock, paper, scissors it is. Where it's just like, oh, you have close range weapons, I have long range weapons, I saw you. There is no way you can deal with me. You can just run away.
Unless you're a hunter. Some hunters can. Some hunters are good at that. Like the hunters in our last game of the competitive when they ruined our streak. Those guys were good at getting away. Because they just like run, invis, and like...
Well, that's also Destiny 2 that lets you get away. But my point is just like how sometimes... Yeah. Or it's the opposite where you have a scout rifle, you turn the corner, and then there's just some dude with like a full assault rifle.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's no real... You can try, but there's no real thing you can do. And it's just like, it comes less about... It feels too like matter of course. Like, yeah, okay, this is the time where I lose. That's it. There's no real me competing. It's just, nope, it's my turn to die.
And then there's like the fucking team shots.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why there's only 4 players on a team. How did they get better tech and downgrade their...
Because I don't think it's a technical limit that they went to 4v4. I think they were trying...
Then why would they do it?
Because I think they wanted to be more esports and more like competitive, and 4v4 was like the big thing. But it was 3v3 before. I mean, you could do 6v6, but if you went into trials, it was 3v3.
Well, trials did, but you had... The other maps, I think, were 5v5.
No, it was 5v5. I mean, because everyone always bitched, like, why is Crucible always weird? Where it's like, if I'm raiding, we have to go kick one guy to play Crucible. But if I have 3 people in patrol, then why do we need to awkwardly get 2 more people for Crucible? Don't know. Bungo, why? Do you know what you need to play is you need to come play OSRs with me so you can join in some real drama. That's like the main, like, this. You subscribe to OSRs by playing it so you can enjoy the drama. It's like every month it is something. Like literally there's a guy who keeps track, like, here, this is this month's drama. And it's like I can tell you.
Does he do anything else in the game? Where like I do this strictly as like...
No, this is him on Reddit. He also plays the game.
Oh, okay.
Like right now. So one of the things that happens is...
Drama or like controversy?
Both.
Okay.
It depends. So right now the big thing is it is a Java client. And so as part of that, because of how Java works, if you know your Java and you can reverse engineer the code, you can make your own game client. So people will do that, and they'll make better game clients than the actual developers. So the big ones right now are OS Buddy and RuneLite and Conduit. And this has always been debatable because sometimes they'll make information available to the client that isn't available to the player. But when you make your own client, you can show that. So like a good example, like if in another game this mistake could be made, is maybe your game client knows where all the players are, but they don't show you. But if you make your own client, you could just show that data. Be like, there's a dude over there. Through the wall, and that'd be a wall hack. And so stuff like that. But there's a big one now is OS Buddy was the most popular, but it had a free version and a paid version, and it's been going for years. And
have you been playing?
I use OS Buddy right now. And then there's another one that came out which is entirely open source and free. It doesn't do any paid features at all, but it has free features that OS Buddy pays for. And all of a sudden, now the company is telling this one, the open source one, to shut down. Then they're going to like sue them. It's like, well, they're open source. You can see what their code's doing. Why are you not going after this other one? And feel like that's suspicious. Suspicious. What's with that? It's a whole thing.
What? Wait.
People are like, why are we allowed to use it from this company, but not the dude who's actually being upfront and showing all his code?
Oh, I thought you were saying that there was the same company was doing 2 different versions.
No.
Oh.
It's like one dude is just being charitable, like, hey, it's open source, anyone can contribute. Hey, JGX, if there's something you don't like, just message me, we'll take it down in case there's something that actually breaks the rules.
Okay.
And they're saying, oh, well, now there's stuff that breaks the rules, but we won't tell you what, but you need to shut down or we'll sue you. But then what about this other one that's been like going for years, and they've hired staff from OS Buddy to work at JGX now?
I don't...
It's a whole thing.
I think they won't be able to defend that claim because there are precedences. Like that's the whole reason why people decide to a lot of companies get in trouble from like the populace because like, oh, they're trying to say like, oh, you're using this word, we're defending our trademark because it sounds like this. A lot of that is because if you do not show that you are willing to defend your trademark, people say, if you just let it go, people say like, well, you weren't really trying to defend it and you're just doing this to fuck this one person.
But here's the catch, then they have to go after OS Buddy too. They have to go after the other one. And
right, but what I'm saying is if they don't, I think they said like, you haven't been going after this paid one that you can't see, but you are going after this other one. You're not doing this fairly. So that's why I'm saying that they might not work.
It's suspicious. I'm really curious to see how it goes down. But I just love how every month it's something. Every month there's some drama. I wish I had the list. I didn't put it on my tablet for things to talk about. It's so much fun every time. It's just like, what's going on this week? Some giant catastrophe. Awesome. That's why I love this game.
I still don't understand how it's still a game.
It should not be a good game. It should not. But for some reason, it's so good. Did I talk about last podcast? I went and did like all their like new quests and they were amazing. And oh, it's so good.
I think maybe.
I went and I did the new. It's called Monkey Madness 2. It's one of the Monkey Madness is like one of their most famous quests, and they had a sequel to it that's very iconic because it's one of the main ones. And the way the game works in RuneScape is it like updates every like I want to say 4 times a second or so. There's a tick, right?
Yeah.
And you would think that makes it really unresponsive, but it's not. It's completely the opposite way, where it's like, you can do this, this, and this, and then if you do everything in this boss fight correctly, you have 1/4 of a second to attempt to hit the boss, or heal, or run away. And that's the actual mechanics of you trying to judge those in those split seconds. Like, by every single factor, it should be an unresponsive, boring game, but instead it's the opposite. I don't know why. And it's the same with everything else, like, for example, the skills go from, like, level 1 to level 99. And they just set that as the max for, like, whatever reason. They didn't expect people to get 99. But people did anyway. And it's like, this wasn't designed. Why are you doing it? And people are like, it's fun. I don't know why.
It's not like people just making their, like, bonfires in those areas. Just, like, fire.
Yeah. God, it's a whole thing. It's weird. It's really hard to explain because, again, for every reason I can think of, OSR should not be fun, but it is.
It's an anomaly.
Yeah, it is an anomaly. I don't think you could recreate it if you tried, like a game like that.
It has to be spontaneous.
Plus, they got their mobile coming out now. They have their mobile client coming out soon. That's gonna be huge because it's basically a mobile game. But why don't my voice sound weird there? But it can, like, when you want to actually go like in depth, like that quest I did, Monkey Madness 2, that took like 6 hours. Or I did Dragon Slayer 2 after that. So much fun. There's some awesome boss fights. They had a really good fucking boss fight. I did not expect from that game.
Better than the spooky Halloween thing where you have to like do the mirrors with the slasher guy.
That's not a real boss fight. That one's like, eh.
I know. I'm saying it was also really dumb because like the timing was weird.
Well, because it was only meant to be like a one-off Halloween event.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be permanent. But they hadn't really started doing quests against yet. So they're like, hey, well, like, this is good, decent. Let's add it as a free-to-play quest. Because they hadn't had a free-to-play quest at all since 2007, I think. So, it was a whole thing. The other quests are good. I have other complaints about their quests that they can improve, but I was actually genuinely impressed. So, especially the Monkey Madness 2, because I had to risk so much. Because in the final boss fight, if you die, you just lose everything you're carrying. So,
and you can't go back and get it?
No, because it's an instance. So when everyone in that instance leaves, it deletes it. So you can't go back to that exact, basically, server. Because it doesn't exist anymore. It'll make a new one. It's a whole thing. So then you have to have this debate where, like, the more gear I bring, the easier the boss is. But then the more I might lose. And believe me, the first time I went in, two-shot me. And not even like, oh, he hit me, let me try and heal. It's like, he literally knocked me to the ground. I was like, what? Hit me again. And I was like, oh, I'm back in Falador. God damn it. I got my shit rocked. Which has not happened. It took me way back to like being a kid where I was like scared to go bossing and all that. It's a whole thing.
It's like me in raids. It's like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Well, imagine it was a Destiny 2 raid where if you died, you lost all the guns on your character, except the best one. Yeah, that's how it feels. God.
And armor.
And armor, yeah. You get to keep your 3 best items, is basically how it works.
So what if you only go in with 3 items?
You can keep those, but you can't keep anything that stacks. So you automatically drop all your gold and all your ammunition, which might be a lot. So then you have to it's like, how much do you want to bring? That's a whole thing. And if you skull, which means you attack another player, like you're the one aggravating, then you're going to keep your highest item.
That makes sense.
So it's a whole thing. And I would love to get into PvP. This is going into a ton of Dynamic Osiris. You should play it, especially when they have mobile, because then it's just something where it's like, oh, I'm just going to cut some trees, and then we'll go quest together, kill some noobs in the Wildy. I need to do it. Wildy. I want to go stream some Vorkath, which is that new boss I really like. It's fun, but it's hard.
How old is RuneScape now?
Like 2003, 4, I don't know. 2007 was its high point. Sorry, there's people, what's called, rioting in like World 2 right now because the whole third-party client thing. And the way you riot,
rioting?
Everyone goes to Falador, they put on pink skirts, and they get like party hats, and they spam their cannons, and they scream like, "We pay, we say." I don't know why they always wear pink skirts, but it's amazing.
They're cannons?
You can get... Again, they do the weirdest things. You can get a cannon that just shoots everything in the area.
What?
It just sounds broken. You put down a massive cannon, and it spins around and shoots every monster in the area over and over. And this is balanced.
Does it automatically target like other players?
It cannot hit other players.
Okay.
Not that you would want to anyway, because that cannon is expensive, and they would wreck it.
Okay. I would imagine it's expensive.
Yeah.
If it's turning around blasting
everything. It basically
everything.
fires money, so that's why you don't use it everywhere.
Wait, each shot costs money?
You have to pay for each cannonball. And you can only hold 30 at a time, so you have to keep reloading it while you're on your...
So when they're protesting, they're also just burning money at the same time.
Yeah. But I mean, there's only so many monsters, so if everyone puts up their cannon, it just... Yeah. I think the idea is they try to lag it, so like, oh, no one can play in that area.
Oh.
Or no
Does
one.
it work?
It's just iconic at this point. I don't think it's as laggy anymore, because the game's better. But
so they're just doing it for sentimental value.
Basically.
Fuck you.
So good.
It's like we pay, we play.
Yeah, we pay, we say. It's like, oh, we pay for the game because they're members.
Oh,
so like we should get a vote. We should be able to decide. You shouldn't go and just make these decisions.
No taxation without representation.
Basically. So again, sorry. They're just like it's so much fun. The drama. The 2007 Scape subreddit is awesome. I love it. So that's a whole thing I want to talk about. You want to talk about soup? I want to talk about soup. So I finally sent you this awesome video from... So there's this awesome video. I don't know what it's called.
It's called...
But...
Soup.
Well, it's called like a soup sketch. That's like the actual source audio or something. I don't know where it's from. But I've only ever seen it as a tool for like new animators to practice editing the timing on like comedy sketches. And there's one amazing one but using characters from Code Geass that I had seen before I watched the show, and that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw those characters, was that thing.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, I need to send it to you. But for some reason I didn't. I think I was trying to find the actual source so I could send you that. And it never came to mind, so I was like, I'm going to send it.
Because then you...
So good.
Well, that was so good, but like again, you're saying like, oh, after watching Code Geass, there's another thing. It's like, I'm gonna pleasure myself with this fish.
That was well, yeah.
because in the English dub, they don't say it that way because that sounds weird.
Yeah, the English subtitle of that show, Code Geass, has a really dumb subtitle where he catches the fish. He's supposed to be saying like, "I'm happy I caught the fish" or something.
Like, cool, because he's going to eat it. They're like hungry. They're just, like stranded on this island.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to proceed to pleasure myself with this fish.
And I had always seen that as like a joke image, like, look at this bad dub. And then when I saw that scene, I like stood up like, I know that scene.
I'm like, and then like, no, I know that picture too. I know it, but I never put it together.
Of all the things to like recognize, it was like that one thing. Oh my god!
But then I guess also soup.
So go watch it. I love it's such a good scene. Just look at like Code Geass. It's like soup store. It's just this little sketch of like character A calls character B who's shopping. He's like, oh hey, character A is like, hey, can I come over? Character B is like, okay, but I'm shopping. It's like, well, hurry up. It's like, I'm trying, but I can't find any clothes. All they have is soup. Go to the next aisle. There's just soup here. Then go to the next aisle. There's still just soup. What do you mean there's just soup?
I mean, there's still just soup. Where are you? I'm at the soup. What do you mean you're at the soup? What store are you at? I'm at the soup store. Why are you buying clothes at the soup store? Fuck you!
It's so good. I don't know why it's so funny, but the delivery is perfect. So I'm so happy I finally sent that to you.
Like you sent me that link. I'm like, what the fuck is what is happening? And like, go.
I feel bad though. It's so hard to share because it's this weird like combination of the show someone may have never seen and this source audio that I don't know what it's from. Because I had the time before where I had seen like the Whitest Kids You Know Lincoln sketch, that audio, the Now You Fucked Up, that one.
Yeah,
I'd always heard that, and it was not until way later that I actually saw the sketch, which is way better. Whitest Kids You Know is amazing, Rocket sketch, and the Lincoln one, best ones, and the Office slow jerk one, also good. Go watch those. But yeah, I'd heard it, and then it wasn't way later that I found the source. So I think that's why I wanted to find the source, in case it was better.
But did you find the soup?
I did not. I was looking for clothes. The soup store. So good. In other news, so oh my god, I was so sick this Monday. I think I messaged.
Oh yeah, I was confused. You were like, did you just take another like PTO or something? And then you're like, I'm sick. I'm just doing this stuff while I try not to die.
Yeah, I basically woke up at like 2 a.m. Monday morning, like, I need to puke. And I proceeded to puke every 30 minutes until like 11. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, because I had that like 2 or 3 months ago. It was so bad. But see, mine, I would like I'd wake up every half an hour to throw up, but I would also have to diarrhea at the same time. So I'd be going, everything burned. God. And I got to the point where like I was just dry heaving, and dry heaving is the worst. Mm-hmm. Like, it feels like you're dying, in my opinion, because you're like trying to throw up, and then you can't breathe, but you're just like, there's nothing coming up, so you're just like,
yeah. And for me, it was always like I'd throw up, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm fine now, and I'd feel fine, and then you just slowly feel it like build up again, and when you get to dry heaves, after you go through just bile, and there's nothing left, it's like, you're like, and then eventually it's like, I guess I'm just done now.
My body isn't. My body's just like. Well,
I went through all that and it sucked, but then I was like, okay, I'm going to be fine. Then 20 minutes later, I'm back. It's like, goddamn. And for me, I was like so dehydrated, but it's like I can't drink anything because I keep throwing it up.
Yeah, I know.
God, so.
Well, I guess sometimes for me, it's like I know I'm going to throw up, but I'm going to chug this just so I'm not dry shaving anymore.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm down to for me. And then I was like fine after 12. And then all of a sudden, like at 4, I got like a huge fever instead. And then it got to the point where it's just like, Jamie, I'm going to bed, not because I want to sleep, but because I can't stand to be awake. And then after that, I was like, okay, the next day. And then the day after that, it's today. Hey.
Oh, that was only 2 days ago, I guess.
Yeah, but it was a whole thing. And I hated using PTO for that because just like, I'm using PTO for this. Damn it. Which is it's what it's for, but frustrating. God, that was a whole thing. But I played Final Fantasy 15 and Destiny in the time, so that was neat. So, other stuff that's up. I actually want to talk to you. I want to start trying to do like actual art for like D&D and stuff. You took sketching classes and stuff, right? Through Metro?
Not through Metro. I took a few
like
art. I took art lessons when I was young, though.
Okay. I feel like I want to,
but
I want to get that. Or even if like, just like if I had to do like, oh, you find a thing, if I could just like sketch it out, it'd be kind of useful. I would love to explore that.
I could try.
You could try. Try to teach me or try to do it?
Yes.
I think it'd be just like a handy skill to have and develop, even if I'm not like doing full on, like, let me draw this massive poster of this dragon. I'm not going to necessarily do that, but it'd be kind of cool to just like be able to do something. And I would love to gradually like evolve it, like especially if I was going to do like my own art for like a website or something. Just feel like, oh, here's some just like simple like little shapes I need to draw and like patterns. It'd be cool to have that skill. I would love to develop, and that's just something I know will like take a while to like slowly get better and better at. But I wanted to kind of like looking into that and explore it. And I don't know. I want to look into it and see if there's any good things, like a class I could take or just general practice. Also looked into, I wanted to try and do like a martial arts course as well. So I did a post on like the Omaha subreddit to see if people have any recommendations. Because I feel like I don't want to be stuck just running 5 miles every day, because that's kind of boring. So I want to try and find other replacements that are a little more fulfilling than just running, that are also still like exercise.
Speaking of suggestions or something like that, has William sent any more questions, or has he had any questions
For the podcast? He hasn't messaged me directly. I haven't checked the site.
I meant the site.
I haven't checked.
Or YouTube.
My site emails me every single day telling me to update it, and I still haven't. And that's really bad because that's a security update. Don't take over my site. It's probably my site is probably part of a bot army right now. I should probably deal with
Those Russian bots.
I think it's Russian bots.
No, I know.
But I should deal with it. I'm lazy and it's stressful to upgrade my site. It runs off Drupal, and the way you upgrade it, it makes sense, but there's these two folders, don't delete them. They contain everything that's important about your site, but everything else, delete it all. It's like, 2 folders, good, delete everything else in your folder. Your site's now broken. Install the new stuff. Hope it works. Update again. And it should be fine.
Why are there always so much shit you don't need in them?
Because it's all part of the core stuff, and you're upgrading the core, so it's easier just to wipe it and replace with all the new stuff, so everything's good and updated. It makes sense. It's just stressful when everything else is automated. But since it's like security, I meant to do it like either tonight or tomorrow, just so it would stop emailing me. But the whole thing is that the reason I'm not doing it is I'm trying to rebuild it in Ruby on Rails and JavaScript and all that, and I'm just not at that point yet, so it's going to be a while.
You know, it comes out in 2 days, though? Because they moved up 4 days, the release?
No idea.
State of K2.
Well, I got to play 1 first.
Fuck off. You need to play State of K2.
I'll play State of K if you play Bayonetta.
You can play State of K at any time, though.
You can play Bayonetta at any time.
But I already bought them. Yeah, but
if we finish, you could be playing it for an hour before D&D.
I thought we were starting at round 8.
What time is it?
Like 7 something.
I have Ellie's like San Francisco time on this.
I'll do
You could easily beat the game.
7:50 right now.
Get good. Yeah. Otherwise, other stuff in my life. What time? Good. I want to branch out. I'm trying to find other people locally that do like the whole YouTube thing. I want to try and find peers. That's my other big thing. I'm trying to branch out, I guess, the next few months. Because I feel like
collaborators.
Not necessarily collaborators, but that's like a small distinction. Because oh my god, there's so many like YouTube like subreddits and groups where it's like, hey, who wants to collab on my Let's Play? It's like,
no.
Todd. It's like, screw you. Because it's obvious like
they don't want to do the work. Like,
they don't want to do the work, or it's like they're just doing it for the views. Whereas I want someone I could actually like bounce ideas off of, or be like, hey, what do you think of this like thumbnail, and get like a good answer, not just cool, comment, like, and subscribe. Like, here, this is like every post on like the new YouTuber subreddit. It's like, oh my god, my reaction was, you won't believe! Exclamation, exclamation, XXX. Do you like my commentary? Question mark. You don't care. You just want to view. Whereas I'm actually looking for someone I could like theoretically like work with and like talk to and like bounce ideas off of, and vice versa. So I'm like, what do you think of this thumbnail? Do you find it attractive? Like, do you think this is good branding? What do you think of this editing?
Is it hot?
Is it hot? Yes. That idea. We have to do thumbnail as well, by the way. I think I have ideas on my thing. I actually have a whole tab of ideas I have been trying to keep track of. I just forget about it.
Do we have to take another picture?
I don't know. I've been lazy about that. Maybe. I can show you the list after the thumbnail. The thumbnail list after the podcast. But, yeah.
Does it still have battery?
I've been charging it.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
For some reason, this thing dies. But this thing dies every like 10 days or like 12 days. So it's just long enough that when we like start the new podcast, it's dying. It has like 2% every time. And this is the only thing I use it for. But I have like one USB charger and it's for my phone. So I can't just leave it charged. I guess I have my other one. That's just the USB cord. I guess I could. I should.
You could plug it in because I think you can plug it into your router.
I don't have the cord though.
I thought you said you have the cord, and that's the only
I know,
part.
but that's the one I actually use that cord.
Oh.
I use it to transfer stuff from my phone, which I hope is still running.
But when you're not doing that, you just plug in the tablet.
No, that's what I'm saying, but I don't wanna. I even have like USB ports that are built into my desk I could charge with, and I don't use them.
Why not?
I don't know. They're annoying to get to. But anyway, I also want to work on upgrading the podcast. I want to do a bunch of stuff, but I think if I could find like some other people to work with, I have a couple ideas for some live action stuff I want to do. I have at least one or two like shorts I would love to try. I've always really wanted to do just a little bit more of those, but they're hard to coordinate.
You need the people.
I need the people. Like that's the thing is I need like other people with cameras and are willing to be on cameras and do all that. But I need like 4. It's hard. So I don't know. Maybe if I can't find any like good groups or something, I might just like start one and see who shows up. I had a couple recommendations. People were like, hey, there's this YouTuber I follow who's in Omaha, but didn't seem like a good fit. Like someone who I would sync with.
How many people in Omaha do you know are YouTubers?
Me personally, like 4.
How many do you think?
Not that I personally know of.
Okay.
None that I would work with. Just because it's like, oh, they have a makeup channel. It's like, oh, there's no crossover here.
You could get real beautiful.
I could. But I'm just like, just in general, it'd be kind of cool. So like if I said like, oh, hey, we need X people, like you want to come over? Because you can clearly know how to present yourself on camera. And I could show you like, do you think this looks good? The footage works. I could do that.
Yeah.
So
Loosely, know how to present myself on camera.
Mm-hmm. I think you do fine.
Yeah.
But I just need like more people. So like that's another thing of the podcast is I would love to branch off so we have more people, but it needs to be something like more of a reason to have them on. And I feel like that'd be a good mix. Where like, oh, this person comes on every 4 weeks, but they have a reason to be on.
William should. He's got stories.
I'm not necessarily against it. I just don't want to introduce new people without like having a reason.
Well, he's my brother.
True.
He's also cooler, but a dick.
Maybe we get Cole back on here. God damn it. He's only on like episode 0.1. I think that was just the only one he was on. Test episode 1.
He was on more than the one test episode. I know he was on at least 2. I think he was on 3, though.
He probably was on at least 1 or 2. At least 2. I feel like he would have been on a second one, but he hasn't been on any of the actual ones.
Right.
So.
But Walker has.
Walker's been on 2. 2 real ones at this point, right?
At least 2.
One,
the
like
first one,
15
and then the one where we talked about Yellowstone. No, 3. 3 then. Because then we had him on the one where we talked about D&D.
Wasn't Yellowstone, I think, was a test podcast. I think that was test podcast like 8.
Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, 2.
Maybe I need to finish my site because once I finish my site, I'll do the link dumps again, and then it makes it way easier to see what we talked about. So I'll have to go back and do the link dump for all the old. Link dump sucks to do. So bad. You'd think it wouldn't, but it totally does.
What are you going to call the link dump?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something clever. I don't know.
Call it the sidebar.
Sidebar would be good. Well, if you didn't know this, I don't know if I ever talk about it. The whole idea with that digression bar was a kind of a pun on progress bar. So I don't know.
Pun or?
Well, it was supposed to be. It was originally the idea of the name was going to be
Progression bar. I thought
it was progress bar. So it's digress bar. But it's not digress bar because there is a bar in like Cancun called the Digress or something. And it's the Digress bar. So it changed to digression because that's way open for like branding. And I own that domain as well, I think. And then I need to do that. There's a whole bunch of stuff I need to do. And I just need time. Instead, I run a podcast and I talk about the things I need to do without doing them.
And you also stream us playing Destiny.
That's true. That's not a big deal.
Playing D&D.
Yeah, I like the D&D stream. I'd love to improve that to more thing. The thing is, I like streaming, and I can do well at streaming. I just never stream, one, interesting things, and two, well, like, no, it's the thing. Like, there's a difference between when I go and stream, like, hey, here's me speed running Bayonetta. That's more interesting. Or here's me beating Dead Rising with killing no zombies. That's interesting. But I don't want to necessarily do that all the time. Whereas just streaming us playing Destiny is like, oh, well, I'm doing it anyway. Let's stream it. But I recognize that's not as interesting versus watching like someone beating the new raid for the first time ever.
On your runs to try and do your without killing a zombie, did you ever accidentally kill a zombie?
Yes.
How much did that set you back?
I saved a lot, but the issue is not accidentally killing it directly. It's if they grab onto you at all, you kill them when you get off. So you can't be touched.
Oh.
So you basically have 1 health. And that was the big game changer.
Huh.
And there actually is a way around that. Is you can get a juice called the Untouchable, which means they can't grab you, they can just swipe. And I thought, okay, that's a whole good system. And then I actually didn't know this. In Paradise Plaza, the main, like, first plaza,
yeah,
there's unlimited pies, and you use those pies to make as many Untouchables as you want. And once you know that, it's not that hard.
Huh.
It is an interesting game changer, though. If you want to start, like, saving survivors without killing zombies, that is a challenge. Because if they get grabbed, the only way you can get them off is you have to, like, put, like, a bucket on the zombie's head. Because that won't kill the zombie, but they just wander around.
What about fish? Or no, not fish. Meat thing.
That might work, too. Something that won't kill them. You also could use hangers. Or make them trip, probably.
Hangers?
Yeah, you like jam them in their mouth or something.
I forgot.
I know this. I know a lot about Dead Rising 1, and it's not relevant whatsoever. Wonderful. But yeah, it's actually a really fun way to play the game. There's a lot of cool stuff in that game. I did like challenge runs. I did that's what else I did. I did beat the game using only joke weapons. That just took a long time. I beat the game basically I beat all psychos using just my fists. And I spent like an hour and a half on Cletus, and it was so frustrating.
No, like why? Oh, because he would kick you.
Because he's guided with a gun, and I'm trying to shoot.
Well, I thought you would every time you'd go up to the thing, you'd like knock you back.
Yeah, but basically his like grab is longer reach than your kick, and it like activates instantly. So he was so hard. It was like frame perfect kicks to get him down, and you need to have so much health. So frustrating. I still want to do that Dead Rising Day thing in September when it comes around again. Do like a whole day of streaming Dead Rising.
I'm unfamiliar with this.
I thought I'd talk about it. I want to do a day on like September 27th, which is the day Dead Rising 1 takes place, I think. Might be September 23rd, one of those. Where I just like play all the Dead Rising games in one go on a big stream. And do like 7 Day Survivor. 7 Day Survivor's not that bad compared to some other stuff I did.
No, I know.
There's some really...
Well, it was worse when you had to do it on 360.
Remaster's actually pretty good, though. It just has a couple weird quirks. So.
Like what?
So it runs at like 60 FPS, and there's some things in the games that like depend on that. Like, so I guess when you hit an enemy with a melee weapon, there's a brief pause to give it oomph, but it lasts like some weird length of time. So when they moved it from 30 FPS to 60 FPS, that weird oomph lasts longer, and people think it's lagging, when in actuality it's just an intended effect. So like if you swing like a sledgehammer into like 20 zombies, it's like chunk, 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 chunk. And it's meant to go faster, but
okay.
Just weird. Dark Souls 2 also had the same issue when they went to 60 FPS. I think I mentioned this before. Where they do the weapon durability checks every frame.
Right.
So when it was double frame rate, everything broke twice as fast.
Yeah.
And it was just like a weird, like, sorry.
We're sorry.
Well, there's some weapons that are just unusable. Where you'd be like, stab a dude, break. It's like, cool. Wonderful. Wonderful. I also really want to go back and play Borderlands 2. I love that game, and I still haven't done the Headhunter DLCs. And they have an awesome...
Have I?
Yeah, I might play it on PC. They have a really good community patch that just does a lot of cool stuff. Like, it adds new gun types that aren't normally possible. And they buff a lot of the really bad guns, so you don't have to only use, like, the Herald or, like, certain, like, legendaries. Like, they're all, like, better across the board, so you can have more fun. So that's really interesting. Or it's, like, other stuff to, like, randomize the loot more or make it more interesting. And not be terrible.
Borderlands 2 was great.
I know a lot about Borderlands 2 as well for how little I played it.
I love Borderlands 2.
So good. And that's why it's annoying that I never went and played all the Headhunters for how much I like it.
I'm just wondering when they're going to finally talk about Borderlands 3.
They leaked on Walmart a pre-order for Borderlands 3.
Well, we know it's happening. They said they're going to talk about it soon. Like they did a tech demo for it. It was just nothing was in it. It was like, here's environment.
I did see that tech demo. I watched it.
It wasn't like, oh shit, Borderlands 3, they're working on it. It's like, well, we knew they were working on it. There's just been nothing to show for it.
I could really go for some Borderlands. Especially with it new. Like a game like that is so good when it's new and there's a promise of DLC because then you can kind of keep playing it.
I wonder what's going to happen.
So much plot. I should go replay pre-sequel.
Well, not just that. It's like you can play all the way up to the level cap in the main game. And then you kind of get like, okay, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of starting to wind down. The DLC comes out and the level cap goes, I'm like, oh shit, now I can level up again. And I'm like,
Cool. We have D&D to play though. And
Yep.
I got to get this going so it's ready for me to edit. So it's out on time. So anyway, this is Digression Bar 18, right? I'm Grant.
Andrew.
We'll be back again in 2 weeks. Bye.